Good afternoon, class. This is Dan. I'm here to do a weekly discussion. I'm going to talk about the discussion with Paul Connolly, who was talking about digital humanitarianism through the use of cell phones or powered by cell phones. And he was using the example of Haiti, the Haiti earthquake in 2010, and how that was remarkable because it's one of the poorest countries in the world, and yet the distribution of smartphones and cell phones throughout that country was such that, SMS or texting became the way to contact people and provide information. So, the argument that, we always need these, the systems are in place and people can't afford the new technology and that will never work, really does not apply. And so I think some of we'll discuss this. I like everyone to discuss that this week. What is it about? There's something I just want to bring up is, what is it about a smartphone, and digital media that makes all this possible? And really, the big deal and the reason digital media has taken off is definitely because of the mobile side, mobile aspect of it. And the deal is, when you digitize content, and that can be like this video is being digitized. It's not analog. It's not running through a special camera or whatever other than my smartphone. This video or a text, an email, a phone conversation, all of that gets digitized, and by that I mean it gets encoded into a stream of ones and zeros. It's into binary format, and because that's binary and that is data, and that looks just the same thing as a file, right? A Word file, an Excel file, a picture, a JPEG. Those are all digitized, they're all ones and zeros. And when you can get a file or a series of ones and zeros, then you can place them in what's called packets. And packets can then be distributed on a network. And a network that is built of a standardized network protocol, such as IP, which means Internet Protocol. It's actually TCP/IP, Transmission Control Protocol / Internet Protocol. Then when it's a standard method of transporting, then you can use networks such as your work network. You can use the wireless networks around. You can use you can roam to other countries and use those networks. So it's that standardization of network protocol and digitizing all these formats or this content that really makes the growth of digital media explode. And what's happening there in Port-au-Prince, people had they may not have had smartphones, but they had cell phones that could text, and that can get discrete bits of information out. It's using the same protocol to transport it, so they were able to have access. And that was that was done in 2010. Today there's far more deployment of networks, like wireless networks, around the country. Around even like the poorer countries, right? So if you think about some of these, we'll quote, third world countries that don't really have a telephone infrastructure, well, the infrastructure is built out wirelessly because it's too expensive to dig wires and all that. So companies go in and they put up towers with wireless radios on them and deploy that way. And some of these, my company, I work with Intelsat. We provide satellite networks. We're actively working with we're working with companies to do what's called cellular backhaul, meaning they put up a cell tower, they're in the middle of a very remote area, maybe it's a village, and they use satellite technology to connect that Wi-Fi off the tower, or that radio off the tower that works the cell phone, back to, say, a data center. And that this is happening worldwide, it's growing. And so the question this week then is, well, then how does that change humanitarian efforts? And when there's disasters, does that help or does that hurt? And, what are some ways that helps? Have you ever seen an SMS text from, the weather service or emergency, or like an Amber Alert? Have you seen those types of things? Those are, UMUC has alerts about weather closings, and hopefully we'll have no snow days this summer. But anyway, that's SMS, and that's some way of deploying. So, to discuss that, what are your thoughts on, say, 911? Should 911 be digitized? Should it be like there is a program called E911? There's some government contracts and all that. It hasn't really rolled out yet, but should it be digitized? And if it is, what could be done with it? How would digital 911 compare to what 911 we have today? What could you do? How could you help yourself in a situation, especially if you have your smartphone pinned to your body at all times, right? And what applications are resident on your smartphone that might help first responders? So think about that. I'd be interested in getting your feedback on that. What else? Is it a good idea? Should we all be digitized, or should we just stick with analog? Or do we need to have both for quite a while? Anyway, what are your thoughts on the talk? Did it make sense? Do you feel that this concept that boardrooms need to have people that are technologically savvy? Is this an important part of business? Just give me your thoughts. Anyway, that's a discussion for week 2. There's also a discussion about life in 2025. Go ahead and let me hear your comments on that as well. But I look forward to reading your post, and let's make sure everyone interacts online, and let's make it a good, lively discussion. Thanks.